Well, I'm Joseph Clyde for AscensionPathway.com on the Evan Fain YouTube channel, bringing you grid work, geoengineering on a daily basis. Today's Thursday, November 5th, and look what we got in the skies right now. A little after 10 o'clock in the morning, the plume has subsided, except for this guy spraying right now. They sprayed last night to keep the fake storm going, and we'll show you remnants of what's left of that. Eastern sector, I'm not in the great wide open, so I'm just giving the best I can out of my driveway till I get out there. You can see the plume has already broken up into these little plasmatic white and gray soot. You can see the soot still on the bottom there, but it's all breaking apart. And it was pretty nasty what they did. They really got it to get cold. We got snow on the mountain in Mingus, and I'll show you that in just a second. Here's a satellite weather report with the radar on November 5th, 2015. You can see the southern part of the country. Arizona, New Mexico, a little bit of California, not being sprayed too heavily. You can see where the blue dot is. There's chemtrail activity, cloudoids, multiple stuff. You can see almost 2/3 of the country is covered. Little hole in the grid there as it goes through the Midwest. We got this chemtrail activity going all the way through Mexico, through Texas, all the way up. They made it rain in Missouri there, Illinois, and it's heading up toward Michigan. Wisconsin being sprayed as they lay the groundwork. These southeastern states starting to get sprayed up a little bit there. You can see what's going on there. As we head up to these northeastern states, a little bit of reprieve, but they're still spraying. Canada, completely covered. Just heading in to get my workout in, I caught this guy spraying. Adding to the mix again. See if we can get a look at this guy. As he heads into the trees, still spraying. Before I aim on that other guy, we got another guy spraying back in here. See him back there? Uh-huh. Now I'm going to pan it back up over here, and we got this guy right here spraying. Looks like a silver bullet. It is. Look him spew the plume out of that back tail fin nozzle. Story continues. Well, it's a little after 2 o'clock. And everything's starting to disperse, but we have chemtrails everywhere. You can see the grid foundation as it all breaks apart. The grid's still intact. There's a rail there. There's a rail above this bomb here. Look at that thing. That's ready to explode into some soot. Double rails down at the bottom. See the 2 rails down there? So you can see the friggin' rails. As I keep panning all the way around, you can see the disbursement of the wisps. My God, I can't believe the people still can't figure it out. I mean, look at this configuration. This is chemtrail plume. We all know this. I mean, come on, look at this. Oh my God, look at this nasty plume. As the cloudoids all move away and disperse into soot, you still got chemtrail activity. Look at that chemtrail lines back in there. 1, 2, a couple different rails. Look at that. Unbelievable. Looking into that western sector, and you can see how they got it marked off already with the grid lines. There, wisps up there, lines way down there. Cloudoids already black on the bottom. See the wisps up here, these are all chemtrails. We already know by how it looks. Look at that. All chemtrail disbursement all up through here. And all behind me looking into that eastern sector. Look at the way this has moved out here. See? Typical chemtrail disbursement. We already know this. Look at the chemtrail bomb they got back in here. Look at that cloudoid. That'll collapse soon. Standing out in the middle of the road, about 4:15, I caught this guy spinning a rail, but I don't have any sight on him, but we do got the plume. And we already know that this is chemtrail plume. The whole sky's chemtrailed. Just look how it's already turned to wisps. Look at that. From a storm to this. Yeah, right. So I pan across the trees and into this sector. So you can see the rails there. There's a rail. Here's the other part of that plume here. Look how that's already dispersed in the wisps. The dogs are barking, bunch of noise around here, so bear with me as I show you all the wisps. Just look how covertly they're doing this. This just popped up, didn't hear a sound. And yet look at the disbursement on the one side of the Christmas tree bulb effect, already dispersed. And then hidden way back in here, in between these rails, look, you got a rail there, 2, 3, and then this little rail trying to connect the other rails. There it is. There's your evidence. It's only 5 o'clock in the evening, or actually afternoon. 5 p.m. is still afternoon time. You can see a rail there. Back it off. Up there, there's a rail there. As they try to get the grid, you can see the cross pattern right in there. Right above that, you got this grid here. Look at that rail. As they cross the pattern, look at the grid work already under there. You mean to tell me they didn't have enough already? Look at back in here. The rail's already turning into soot. Cloudoids are gone. All that remains is the chemtrail activity. People don't have a clue. Look at that. So I panned into that western sector. Look at the Medusa we got coming over the mountaintop. Look at the soot coming out of that back end. Wow. As I pan back and look up, you could see the tentacles of the plume. That's why we call this a Medusa effect. Also, you can see the chemtrail rainbow back there. See the color? There's the color there. So we know it's not rain anymore. Got a little chemical rainbow up in there. But as you can see, the plume is everywhere. Rails after rails after rails. Look at that Medusa. It extends all the way out here and into where I just showed you those rails were. That's how big the Medusa is. I just couldn't let this go. Just look at the soot falling out of the sky, and then this guy here laying this rail from the plume through that plume to that plume. He's all the way up through here, through all this friggin' plume, and here he is right up here spraying. I mean, haven't we had enough of this crap? Look at the stuff spewing out of that guy. Looks like a red tail too. Look at that son of a bitch. Just spraying the friggin' plume. Now I'm gonna back it off and just look at the rest of this friggin' plume. It's just everywhere. Look at that mess. The whole sky is covered up in plume. Here's the Medusa. You can see plain as day the soot falling from the sky. If people think, and look at, there's a rail right stuck right in there. Look at the rail in there. See the rail? I mean, how much more video evidence, undisputable too. Look at this. Rail there, black soot already falling. Look at all this shit. Look at this rail here. In between the existing rails. It's all friggin' soot. It's all gonna turn black. Look at that crap there. My God. Look at that over the mountain range. Look at that soot. And they wonder why people are sick. Heaven forbid. Getting back to this guy over here, look at the friggin' rail. God, he's really lacing it too, isn't he? Look at the plume. Look at that friggin' rail. God, I gotta go. I just can't take this. Then I caught this guy spewing some plume here. Very covertly. What kind of a craft is that? Let me back him off and get a better look at this guy. Wow. He's really something. Wow. Look like it's coming out of that back tail fin as well. There's the leftover plume this guy left. Look at all these plumes here. all dispersed. And look what's happening to the Medusa. Look at that rail underneath it. See that? God dang! People, wake up! Have a good night. It's 8:15 Pacific Coast time. And look at the AccuWeather report now. Look what they've done through Mexico, over top of the already existing trailing. They're still bringing this in. And look how they're being able to fillet it out even farther. Look at that edge there. See that gray edge? That's all the chemtrail activity. We just showed you what they did. Look at over here in Arizona where I'm at. Look at that. Completely covered. They're going to spray. Keep on spraying. New Mexico completely covered. Utah, Nevada. Look at all these states are completely covered. Now we know how Canada feels.